All right, let's bring in Brinda Jagirdar then. She's General Manager and Head of Economic Research at State Bank of India. Brinda, first up, all eyes on next Tuesday. What are you expecting?
Before next Tuesday, can we talk about what's happening in the macro? Because that is what will really decide what's going to happen next Tuesday. I think my own sense is that RBI has said that they've given a guidance that they would cut rates, and we can see a rate cut. And perhaps not the 50 basis point rate cut that we were expecting earlier, maybe about a 25 basis point rate cut. But let us look at why this change in scenario. One, of course, is inflation. Inflation has softened, inflation is trending down, but the recent increase in diesel prices would perhaps still keep inflation elevated. So, factoring in this increase in diesel prices, our own sense is that the March 13 number on the WPI would be maybe above 7%, maybe closer to 7.3%. The biggest concern is on the fiscal front, and I think that is beginning to be addressed. One, of course, the most important is the partial deregulation of diesel prices, which we did see the first step in September. That, along with the cap or the increase in LPG prices, and then the increase in rail fares, and the most important is an indication of a roadmap for fiscal consolidation. If we take all these together, then I think there's a big positive for the fiscal. And the Reserve Bank's concern, one of the concerns which the Reserve Bank had been consistently expressing, is that they needed to see some action on the fiscal front before they could act. So I think here they have got some space to move forward. And the rating agencies were also very concerned. The fiscal deficit was one number which everyone was watching very closely. So if we can see some positive movement on that, and I can see it already happening, then I think that would give space to Reserve Bank to cut the rate. So that would be one factor, I would say, that the Reserve Bank would take into account on the 29th. The second factor is inflation, which was trending down, and now which would go up by a small quantum. So I think by the end of March, we would see inflation coming slightly above 7%, above the 7% number which Reserve Bank was talking about. But I think this is a short-term, it's a marginal short-term pain. This is something which was really required. And on the BOP front, also we see steps being taken to address the huge current account deficit, which came in at 5.4% in the last reading. And the 4.6% is what we've got in the first half. So going forward, there are, I think, two measures now. One, of course, is the diesel price hike itself, which would be a positive for the current account deficit, because more than 50% of the petroleum consumption is on account of diesel. And the second is the increase in gold import duty, which again would be a positive for the current account. And perhaps a third is the new measure announced that the software developed offshore would be treated as deemed exports, and that would of course bring in new investments, and that would also be a positive for the current account. So these steps would help the current account. So we have positive on the fiscal deficit, on inflation, on the current account, and on the reforms front, with the setting up of the Cabinet Committee on Investment and picking up of new investments coming in. So overall, I think it's a very positive picture. We need to put all the small pieces together to get the big picture. And my own sense is that this would give RBI confidence to move forward and start the rate cutting cycle on the 29th of Jan. My own sense is that perhaps it may not be a very sharp cut, because the recovery itself that we are expecting won't be a very sharp V-shaped recovery. It would be more shallow recovery. So this would get factored into the RBI's action on the 29th.
You painted a fairly rosy picture, Brinda. So would you then go on to also say that the finance minister, who reiterated yesterday that they will stick to the fiscal deficit target of 5.3%, that is fairly realistic?
Let me just correct you on one. This is not a rosy picture. I think I've painted a more realistic picture. There are concerns, and there are major concerns which still remain in the economy, but they are being addressed in small measures and small steps, but these steps are all significant in themselves. So the question of fiscal deficit, the correction, we are seeing that every effort is being made to see that the fiscal deficit is contained at 5.3%, and perhaps that could be 5.3 or 5.4%. But my own sense is that yes, we will be able to we will be able to contain the fiscal deficit at 5.3%, because that's a very important number that we need to see. And going forward in the budget, perhaps we would see a roadmap of reduction in the fiscal deficit being presented.
And Brinda, do you believe that as long as the GDP growth story is going to be led by consumption demand and not investment demand, that the slowdown is not likely to reverse anytime soon?
Yes, of course, because we need investment to come back into the picture. We need investment to gain traction and lead growth. So that's a very important factor, and the slowdown has also been caused by the slowdown in investment. So investment will have to come back, and that will have that's why we can see a whole lot of measures being taken to kickstart investment, to make sure that investment clearances are given speedily for big ticket investments. So investment will have to take the lead now going forward. I think consumption has done its bit and it's holding up, but given the inflation factor that we see, consumption is also slowing down. So going forward, if we have to see a sustained pickup in inflation, in GDP growth, then it's the new manufacturing policy, the new clearances for fresh investments. This will have to come back on center stage. There's no doubt that investment will play a great role in supporting GDP growth going forward.